Hello and welcome to Faith and Finances. This is the place where we explore the intersection of faith and financial wisdom. Our mission is to offer practical insights and spiritual guidance to help you navigate your financial journey with faith-based principles. We believe that the timeless wisdom of the Bible can guide us towards financial freedom, stewardship, and abundance. Today we're embarking on an exciting journey as we dive into our first topic, money parables. These aren't just stories, they are powerful lessons that hold the potential to transform the way we think about and manage our finances. Together, we're going to unpack the meaning behind these parables and discover how to apply their wisdom to our own financial lives. To give you a sense of why this subject is so close to my heart, let me share a little personal anecdote. I remember a time when I was wrestling with a financial decision. I was torn between saving for a rainy day or investing in a venture that promised considerable returns. It was a difficult choice, and I found myself unsure of what to do. Then I stumbled upon the parable of the talents in the book of Matthew. It's a story about a master who entrusts his property to his servants and how they use what they've been given. This parable reminded me that money is a resource entrusted to us by God, and we're called to be good stewards of it. It's not just about hoarding or squandering, but about growing and using it wisely. This realization was a game changer for me, and I believe it could be for you too. Our journey into the money parables will be filled with such enlightening moments. We're going to dig deep into the teachings of Jesus, uncover the wisdom they hold, and see how they can guide us in our financial decisions. So, are you ready to embark on this journey with me? Let's deep dive into the parables of Jesus and how they relate to money, wealth, and stewardship. Picture this. John is a hard-working man who's always struggled to save money. John is your average guy. He loves the simple pleasures of life, the smell of freshly cut grass, the sound of a crackling fire, and the taste of a well-cooked steak. But there's one thing that has always been a thorn in his side: his finances. Despite his best efforts, John's bank account always seems to be on a diet, slimming down faster than he'd like. You see, John has a soft spot for new gadgets. The latest smartphone, the sleekest laptop, the smartest watch, you name it, John's got it. But this love for the latest and greatest has left his wallet feeling lighter than a feather in the wind. Now, let's say one day, John stumbles upon an irresistible deal for a brand new top-of-the-line drone. He's been eyeing this particular model for months, dreaming of the stunning aerial shots he could capture. The price tag? A whopping $2,000, but it's on sale, 30% off. What a deal, right? John's heart races. He can already see himself piloting the drone, capturing breathtaking views of the city. But then he remembers his skinny bank account. He's been trying to save for a rainy day, and his savings are finally starting to look a bit healthier. But this drone, it's now or never. John is torn. On one hand, he's worked so hard to save up. On the other hand, this is a once-in-a-lifetime deal. He's caught between the rock of his financial discipline and the hard place of his gadget-loving heart. He decides to sleep on it. After a restless night, he wakes up and, with a heavy heart, decides to buy the drone. As he clicks the Buy Now button, he feels a mix of excitement and guilt. He's thrilled about his new toy, but can't shake off the nagging feeling that he's made a mistake. Weeks pass, and as John plays with his new drone, his bank account dwindles. His excitement over the drone begins to fade, replaced by worry about his finances. He's back to square one. His savings are nearly depleted, and he's left wondering if the drone was worth it. John's story is a common one. We've all faced similar dilemmas, torn between our desires and our responsibilities. We've all felt the lure of an irresistible deal, the thrill of a new purchase, and the subsequent guilt when we realize we've overshot our budget. But what makes John's story interesting is not just his predicament, but also his reaction to it. Instead of brushing it under the rug, John decides to confront his financial dilemma head-on. He recognizes his weakness for gadgets and acknowledges his mistake. He understands that his love for the latest tech is sabotaging his financial health. He realizes that he needs to change his habits if he wants to achieve his financial goals, and so he makes a resolution. No more impulsive buying. He'll think twice before making a big purchase, evaluate whether he really needs it, and consider its impact on his savings. So, John is in a pickle. But what does the Bible say about his situation? Opening. The Bible is full of wisdom about money and wealth. Let's take a look at some of these principles. As we delve into the third part of our video, we're going to unpack some key financial concepts found in the Bible. You might be surprised to find out that the Good Book has a lot to say about money, wealth, and stewardship. It's not just about spirituality, it's about practicality too. Let's start with the parable of the talents, found in the book of Matthew. For those unfamiliar with it, this parable tells the story of a master who entrusts his servants with his property, each according to their abilities. One servant receives 5 talents, another 2, and another 1. The first 2 servants double their talents through active investment, while the third hides his talent out of fear and does nothing with it. So what's the takeaway here? The parable of the talents is often interpreted as a lesson about using our resources wisely. In the context of finance, it can be seen as an endorsement of responsible investment. It's about making our money work for us, rather than simply hoarding it. This principle can be applied to our scenario with John, who is looking to manage his finances better. John, like the servants in the parable, has been entrusted with resources. These resources can be his income, his savings, or even his time. The question is, what is he doing with these resources? Is he actively investing them to create more wealth, or is he simply storing them away out of fear, like the third servant? The parable of the talents reminds us of the importance of investing and growing our wealth, but it's not just about making more money, it's about stewardship, about taking care of the resources we've been given and using them to make a positive impact. Now, let's move on to another important financial concept from the Bible, the idea of contentment. In the book of Hebrews, we read, "Keep your life free from love of money and be content with what you have." This doesn't mean that striving for financial security is wrong, but rather it warns us against the trap of materialism and the endless pursuit of wealth. In John's case, he might be tempted to constantly compare himself to others, to strive for more wealth, more possessions, more status. But the Bible teaches us to be content with what we have, to find satisfaction not in material wealth, but in our relationships, our purpose, and our faith. Lastly, let's discuss the concept of generosity. The book of Proverbs tells us, "One gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give, and only suffers want." This concept, often referred to as the law of reciprocity, teaches us that generosity leads to abundance. For John, this might mean giving to his local church, donating to a charity, or simply helping a friend in need. It's not about the amount given, but the spirit of generosity. And according to the Bible, this spirit of giving can lead to financial blessing. In summary, the Bible provides us with several key financial principles: the importance of investing our resources wisely, the value of contentment, and the power of generosity. These principles are not only spiritually sound, they're also financially wise. They remind us that money is not an end in itself, but a means to an end, a tool that, when used wisely, can bring about good in our lives and in the lives of others. These concepts may seem complex, but they can be broken down into simple, actionable steps. Invest wisely, be content with what you have, give generously. Closing. These principles can guide us in our financial decisions, but how do we apply them in our daily lives? Understanding these concepts is one thing, but putting them into practice is another. So, let's roll up our sleeves and get down to the practical side of things. We've learned from the parables that money is a tool, not a goal. It's a means to an end, not an end in itself. This understanding can help us frame our approach to handling finances in a way that aligns with our faith. Firstly, let's talk about setting financial goals. This isn't just about wanting to be rich. It's about defining what financial freedom means to you, in line with your faith and values. Maybe you want to pay off your debt, save for your children's education, or contribute more to your church or a charity. Whatever it is, make it specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, or SMART for short. This way, you're not just wishing for financial success, you're planning for it. Next, let's tackle budgeting, often the nemesis of many. But remember, a budget is not meant to restrict you, but to give you freedom. Think of it as a roadmap that guides you towards your financial goals. It's about taking control of your money, rather than letting it control you. Start by tracking your income and expenses. Once you have a clear picture of where your money is going, you can make informed decisions about where you want it to go. Remember, every dollar has a job, whether it's for living expenses, savings, or giving. Now let's address a common obstacle: impulsive spending. It's easy to get caught up in the moment and splurge on things that we don't really need. But the parable of the prodigal son reminds us of the consequences of reckless spending. The key to overcoming this is self-control and discipline. Before making a purchase, ask yourself, is this a need or a want? How does this align with my financial goals? Will this bring me long-term satisfaction or just momentary pleasure? Another obstacle is the lack of knowledge about investing. Investing can be intimidating, especially if you're new to it. But remember the parable of the talents? The servants who multiplied their talents were praised, while the one who buried his was rebuked. This parable teaches us the value of making our money work for us. Start by educating yourself about different investment options. Consider speaking to a financial advisor who shares your faith and values. And always do your due diligence before making an investment. Lastly, let's talk about generosity. In the parable of the rich fool, the man hoarded his wealth, thinking it would bring him security and happiness. But Jesus called him a fool, reminding us that life is more than possessions. Generosity is a key principle in the Bible. It's not just about giving money, but also time, resources, and love. As you budget and plan for your financial future, don't forget to include giving in your plans. In conclusion, managing our finances in a faith-filled way involves setting clear financial goals, creating a budget, controlling our spending, learning about investing, and practicing generosity. It's not always easy, but remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. By following these steps, we can start to align our financial habits with our faith. Yes, it's a process, and yes, it requires discipline and commitment, but the rewards are worth it. Not just in terms of financial freedom, but also in the peace of mind that comes from knowing we're stewarding God's resources in a way that honors Him. So, let's take that first step together, shall we? So what have we learned today? Well, we've taken a journey, haven't we? We began with a relatable financial dilemma, something that many of us might have experienced at some point. It was a situation that not only tested our financial acumen, but also our faith. From there, we stepped into the world of biblical wisdom, exploring the parables of Jesus that touched upon money, wealth, and stewardship. These parables, as we discovered, are not just stories, but powerful lessons that can shine a light on how we perceive and manage our finances. We learned that being good stewards of our resources is a principle deeply rooted in faith. This concept isn't just about managing money well, it's also about understanding that everything we have is a gift, and we're entrusted to use it wisely. We talked about the importance of setting financial goals and creating a budget. Practical steps, yes, but ones that require discipline and dedication. We highlighted the significance of starting the habit of investment, not just for our financial security, but also as a way of nurturing what we've been given. We also addressed the common obstacles we face in maintaining good financial habits. Remember, everyone faces challenges, but armed with the right knowledge and a strong faith, these hurdles can be overcome. But it's not enough to just understand these concepts. We need to apply them. So we discussed practical strategies that can help us live out these principles in our day-to-day lives. Because faith and finances aren't two separate realms, they're intertwined, each influencing and shaping the other. And here we are, at the end of our journey, hopefully with a better understanding of how faith and financial wisdom can coexist and complement each other. But this is just the beginning. There's so much more to explore, to learn, and to apply. Remember, faith and finances can go hand in hand. We hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe to our channel for more content on faith and finances. See you in the next video.